Resident Evil 4 is a masterpiece, and I'm pretty sure all of you guys could agree with me on that. And with a game this big comes a lot of hidden details, so with the remake just on the horizon, I thought it'd be a perfect time to talk about some things you probably missed in Resident Evil 4. So let's get into it. In the village fight at the beginning of the game, if you go on top of the tower, no Ganados will be able to kill you, but they will throw Molotov cocktails that will damage you, but they cannot kill you. In Resident Evil 4, there's a Magnum called the Killer 7, and this is actually named after another game created by Capcom known as Killer 7. And while we're on the topic of magnums, in the game there's another magnum known as the Broken Butterfly, and if you examine it, the description reads, Broken Butterfly, a very powerful 45 Magnum revolver. This will make anyone's day. This is a direct reference to a Clint Eastwood movie where he says, go ahead, make my day. In the village fight at the beginning of the game, you can actually get past it without killing any enemies. All you need to do is just avoid them for 4 minutes and they will all go away. You can do this exact same thing in the cabin fight with Luis as well, except you might need to kill some enemies because you're in a tighter space. A company known as Newbie Tech actually manufactured a controller modeled after Dr. Salvador's chainsaw in the game. There were 2 different versions made, one for the PS2 and one for the Nintendo GameCube. The developers originally planned to have 2 different silencers in the game, one for the TMP and one for the Silver Ghost handgun, but later this item was scrapped just because the developers thought that it wouldn't be that useful, but I would have personally loved to see a silencer in the game. There is a mechanic in the game known as adaptive difficulty, and this was one of the things that made the game so genre-defining, because the game would change entirely just based on how good you were playing the game. Let's say you were playing the game super bad and you were low on ammo and healing items. The merchant would sell you first aid sprays, and when you break open boxes or barrels, you would get more healing items and ammo. In the cabin fight with Luis, if you shoot him more than 4 times, then there will be a secret cutscene that plays where Leon will be shot and killed by Luis. In the Japanese version of the game, all decapitations were cut out of the game. And in the Germany version, the entire game mode of Mercenaries and Assignment Ada were both cut out of the game. Leon and the Merchant were both voiced by the same voice actor, Paul Mercier. And while we're on the topic of voice actors, the voice actor who plays Ashley Graham in Resident Evil 4 also plays as Sandy Cheeks in the popular cartoon series SpongeBob SquarePants. In the original version of Resident Evil 4, Leon was actually sent out to save Sherry Birkin from Resident Evil 2, but they replaced her with the president's daughter later along the lines, because they thought that saving one person twice would be a little bit too much. Resident Evil 4 is playable on plenty of consoles, but one that you might not have known about is that there's even a mobile port of the game, and it obviously doesn't have the exact same graphics as the original, but it is a pretty fun game, and it is still Resident Evil 4 nonetheless. Well, there you have it, guys. There's 15 things you didn't know about Resident Evil 4. If you guys want to see more content like this, please be sure to subscribe and hit the like button. And I'll see you all in the next episode of Bagels Battle!